Hello everybody, and welcome to this video where today we are going to be going over one of my creative processes for creating abstract art. So here we go. I do a lot of different things, but one of the things that I always do that always ends up making a second painting or a third or a fourth or whatever that just helps move things along is whenever I'm painting something, I'll usually have a second canvas or paper or something off to the side to clean my brushes on. Okay. And what that ends up doing is being the basis of the next thing that I'm going to do. Or if it's one that I have around for a while, it over the course of a couple weeks, it almost becomes its own thing. So I'm going to show you some of those paintings that happen like that. So this one here is a really good example of one that became something over a series of painting sessions. This right here, like all of this like kind of sky blue, this came from when I was working on the painting Nikki's Magpie. And then more of the chunkier stuff that came up here came from that, here, let me point to it, that painting there, which is the David Lynch Has Died painting. Some of the ink splatter and stuff, like this black line here and this pink bit here, that was me trying to clean out my stopper to get the ink to spread and shoot out and stuff like that. And then you'll see like a bunch of yellow, but there's the other thing that's kind of cool when you have a piece like this is that a bunch of stuff ends up getting in the paint. Like, I don't know if you can see, but there are big giant chunks and stuff like all over. And it's usually because when I'm like making paint or using any painting or anything like that, and there's a bunch left, I freak out. I'm like, I don't want to waste this. Like, paint's expensive, dude, especially when you paint as much as I do. Like, shit starts really adding up. So having like another canvas where you're just putting a bunch of stuff on, and then obviously what I ended up adding to this was that spiral of dreadlocked hair. So this is called Mad Love, by the way. This is in the Mad World series. Another painting I did that with is this guy here, which is a little different in the sense that this was one of the many canvases that I would like pick up at like Goodwill or thrift stores for like $1 or $2. And this one I think was $5. And because I would get them to like do stuff to, because canvases are even more expensive than paint sometimes. So with this one here, what I ended up doing was I had a bunch of like shop rags that were getting all gross and nasty. And I think one fell off the table on top of the canvas. And I didn't realize it until the next day. And when I went to pick it up, it like was stuck to it. And I was like, oh. And so after a while, every time I would use a rag, I would just like kind of crumple it up and slam it on here, hoping that the wetness of it and the nastiness of it would make it stick. And then I just started having fun with it. And then I started spraying them and painting around the edges. And so this one's called Roses, and this one is actually sold. So you don't get to have this one. This one is going somewhere else. These guys right here, these are from my Forest Through the Trees collection or series. And if you look, this one is a white canvas board panel, and this one is a black canvas panel. And I had both of these under smaller canvases when I was doing the what do you call it? The separation anxiety paintings for the Mad World series. And I got a bunch of gold and bronze paint on these things. And so I thought that would look cool underneath doing the forest through the trees stuff. And so that's how these guys came about. This one here is another one that's ended up in the forest through the trees. And this one's going to be a little harder to see because I painted over all of it. But you could still see it like right here. Basically, when I was doing the second and San Pedro painting in the Mad World series, I was using oil stick and I was getting it all over my hands. It was everywhere. I should actually probably show you that. So when I was doing this guy, all that oil stick on here was getting all over the place because it's Joshua Tree and it's hot and oil sticks melt like crazy in the heat. So it was just like, this was just unreal. It was really hard to work with. And so I was getting oil all over my hands. And so I was just using this panel to like rub my fingers on, or this canvas to rub my fingers on. And let me see. You can see like right here underneath the pink, there's like smudgy black. Up here, there's some smudgy blue, and then more so right here. And then over here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it like that. Over here, there's a bunch of yellow and stuff, yellow and like a light green. And then there's like black smudges everywhere. I knew I wanted to do something with it, but I didn't know what. And then that's when I just did a little bit of red and some water and went over the whole thing and then started pouring the black paint over the top of it and then started dripping it and having fun with it. So that's what this one looked like. Another one that's a lot like that is this guy. And this one's a little different in the sense that this one here, and if you've been a follower of this channel for a while, you will maybe recognize parts of this. This is one that I would work on every time I was painting. I would do a little something to this and never really liked what was happening. And then I would do some other stuff on some other paintings and then come back and just, clean my brushes on this until finally the undercoat of this got so cool and so deep that I was finally like, you know what? I want to do this thing with hair. Let me see if I can do it. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a ton. I like shaved the sides of my head and trimmed my beard and then chopped all that hair up really fine and mixed the hair up with the light blue paint and put that over all of this. But yeah, this has like acrylic paint, spray paint, hair, house paint, all sorts of stuff. And I think there's a penny in there somewhere. Is there? Probably. I don't know. Maybe you could see it. I don't know. But yeah, so if you get really close, this thing's full of my hair. So if you wanted some DNA, this is the guy for you. Another one, probably one of the most successful looking ones I did using this is this guy right here. I think this thing looks amazing. This one here, I did when I was doing those pumice stone paintings. And I didn't want to waste the paint. And so I would just do a little paint as I was painting. And then I came up with this awesome thing. And this looks amazing. It looks like a goddamn Nine Inch Nails cover or something like that. This one came out great. I really like this one a lot. This guy here is probably, I don't know how I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do it like this, if I'm going to do it like this, if I'm going to do it like this, if I'm going to do it like this. But this one was me like doing, so like this here, if you have seen the Forest Through the Trees paintings, this is that blue 7x14 one. I did like a print of it using the painting, putting it down on here to get the paint to dry. And then this right here, I was trying to clean my scraper off for the other painting that I did. And then this was me just trying to clean the black paint off of one of my brushes. But I think it looks so cool together that, yeah, I think it's just going to go like this. Or maybe like this. I don't know. We'll find the top. That looks good. So I think this is going to be like this. But this being by itself, I think I'm just going to leave it. Like, I love how this came out. And I didn't even mean for any of this to look like this. I was just using this to clean my shit off, you know? So hopefully that was informative. Like, just whenever you're painting, have something else nearby to wipe your hands on, wipe your brushes on, wipe your scrapers on, whatever you're using, rags, anything, just to like use as much of the material you have as possible. Nothing goes to waste. And then you end up with something that could be really cool. And so what I'm going to do now, let me show you this. This guy here, I made this kind of cool plum color for another painting. So I was working on this guy. I don't know if I'm done with it, but I really liked making it. This is all pumice stone, extra coarse pumice stone gel on top of a plum kind of paint I made using a lot of red, a little bit of black, a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and a little bit of yellow. And then for whatever reason, while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I started crushing peppercorns out of the grinder on top of the paint. So I don't know if you could really see it. But yeah, so there's like just a bunch of texture all over this thing. But I was having a lot of fun with it, but I made so much of the paint trying to get the color the right way that I wanted. I ended up with a ton of leftover paint. So I took my brush, and to clean my brush off, I did this guy here. I feel like I used the paint on something else too. Was I painting something else? I don't know. I think I was painting something else with it too. But anyway, so I didn't want to waste the paint, so I did this. So it's really thick and chunky down here, and it dried all cool. And then I have some really awesome brush strokes from the brush itself. And then all of this was me just trying to really clean all of the paint off. And I'm going to do a painting with this probably right now.